What's up, loyal fans? ImNotMarill here with another Pokemon Black and White battle video. Haven't posted in a while, sorry about that, but I've been working on this sick-ass layout for you guys, so I hope you like it. It took a really long time, which is why I haven't posted anything. All my time has kind of just been focused on this. And I think it came out pretty well. You know, we got the little effects, like when Pokemon faint and stuff, it turns black and white, but you'll see later on in the battle. So yeah, this is an RU match, as you can see. So, throw out my Manectric here. His name is Julio. Do you guys live? I don't think any of you, maybe, well, probably. I'm assuming I have friends watching these videos. They live in Florida. You know those little kids, those Spanish kids? They walk around with their hair spiked in one singulatory fashion. I always make the bold assumption that their name is Julio, because they just look like Julios, and then Manectric has that little spike, so it makes sense. So yeah, I throw out my Gligar. And he's just like chilling because he has an Eviolite and shit. And I'm gonna go for the Swords Dance. So he's totally just like, man, this is an offensive set. If I keep bulking up, I'll be able to take him out with like a Psycho Cut or something, and it'll be great. And no, that is not the case. This is max HP, max defense. The Swords Dance is there so that he has something to do while he's walling the shit out of physical walls, which is why his name is GTFO. Because physical threats should just get the fuck out. They're not going to be able to do anything. I mean, if this thing has Ice Punch, it won't be able to one-hit KO me, even after those bulk ups. Because look at that. A Stab Psycho Cut did that much. Yeah. I mean, I was not worried. So, he goes out, switches out into his old Gligar, and I'm like, that's cool. I have +3 against... +6 against a +0 Gligar. I'm in good shape. So I just go for the Stone Edge, and it's like, not great, but this is probably, you know, max defense Gligar too. And that's okay. But he knocks off my Eviolite, and I'm like, oh shit, that's going to come back later and bite me in the ass, isn't it? That's going to be really, 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 really bad. So, I'm going to run out of Stone Edges soon, and that's not something I want to happen. Unfortunately, apparently we were having speed ties. He won this one. So Stone Edge isn't going to do anything, which kind of sucks. So I was like, if I get a crit, I win. Like, I just win. I'm looking at his team. Blastoise may be able to take one Earthquake. I know I'm faster than him. And unless that Magneton has Hidden Power Ice, I mean, it would be kind of over at that point. Unfortunately, I'm just like, fuck it. There's no way I'm doing this. So I switch out to my Specs Gastrodon, which is named Shades. And I know. That might give it away, but usually when you name stuff like that, it's usually like, I don't know, like they're not expecting it to be what it's named. So I throw out Bitchin', which is my Cresselia, because he switches in his Blastoise to take that Spec Surf, and I'm assuming that this Blastoise is specially defensive. That's what I'm getting from this, because I feel like a Spec Surf would have done more damage if it wasn't specially defensive. So he throws out his own Magneton to avoid a Toxic, and I'm like, well, I kind of foresaw this, and I just set up a Reflect just to protect my team from any damage. And I had to make a choice here. I was like, he has HP Grass or HP Ice. I'm going to make the bold assumption he has HP Ice and switch out into Shades. And fuck my nuts. He has HP Grass. But I'm like, that's just fantastic. Why? Because every Magneton or Magnezone I've ever used has had HP Ice. So I assumed that he would have HP Ice. But obviously he has HP Grass. So now I'm just trying to get into a good position here. I call the switch out here into Dusknoir, so I actually switch back in my Gastrodon because he can take whatever this thing's going to dish out because of Reflect, or it might just burn it with Will-O-Wisp. It doesn't matter. I just go for the Recover because I'm running Recover on a Specs Gastrodon because I'm awesome. That's why, because I can pull that shit. So I'm going to switch out because I figure the Will-O-Wisp is coming. I'm just going to fodder off Julio here. So, you know, it kind of works out. I didn't want any status on my Gastrodon because that would be bad because he's going to be switching in and out and shit, and I need him for later. So I bring in Cloudtail, and this is a Choice Band Adamant Entei, and that's fun for everyone. That's so much fun because this thing is going to do like half to a Blastoise with a Flare Blitz, and that is just a lot of damage being thrown around. That's a lot of damage to grasp. So, if I wasn't stupid and switched out here, I probably could have swept this whole team, quite honestly. But I don't. I switch into Bitchin' expecting the Toxic, which he does do. Or not expecting the Toxic, I'm sorry. Just because bitching about defensive wall, I was actually expecting like the Scald or the Surf or something. But I switched out because, I don't know. I guess I'm just stupid because that's... If he didn't go for the Surf, if I predicted him to overpredict, I probably... Like, there are just times here where I may have, like, made game-changing plays, and I just kind of didn't. But it all works out in the end. So I'm going to assume he's going for the bulk up. Go ahead and go for the Toxic, just so this thing gets some residual damage. I'm not too worried about it. If it has Drain Punch, Gligar will, you know, be able to take that anyway. So that poison's basically the end of him. So he's going to go for another bulk up. And here, I'm assuming he's going for Psycho Cut because he thinks I'm going to Swords Dance, and because he's faster, he will definitely be able to hit KO me. However, I am smarter than that. I foresee this because I'm good at the game, and I go for Roost, which is going to bring me back up to a considerable amount. Now, I'm assuming he is going to either bulk up here or switch out. Probably switch out because the poison's racking up. So I just go ahead and go for the Swords Dance, and he does switch out. I go for the switch. What am I doing? I switch into bitchin' because I predict his Blastoise to come in and I can Toxic it or something. That's what I predicted. Okay, that makes sense. So I'm going to pull a double switch here because I'm a boss, and I'm going to predict him to go for... Actually, I was predicting him to switch into Magneton. However, he just keeps Blastoise in and goes for the Ice Beam. So I'm just like... Obvious close combat is obvious. U-turn time because this Dusknoir is going to come in and Will-O-Wisp the shit out of my Primeape. And this is a Scarf Primeape. So I'm using a triple choice team. I got the Specs, I got the Scarf, and I got the Band. So I'm just going to pop in Cloudtail. He's going to be able to take the Will-O-Wisp because he's a fire type and stuff. So this Dusknoir is basically fucked. Anything he switches in is going to get a face full of Flare Blitz. And nothing wants to take that Flare Blitz. Look at that. I'm assuming this Dusknoir is maxed like defense, because he takes it pretty well, but at the same time, that is still a lot of damage being thrown around, especially to a Dusknoir. So, he's going to switch out here, and I don't think I actually care. I feel like I just go for another Flare Blitz, and I do, and that's going to hurt even this Gligar. This Gligar, who took a +6 Stone Edge, is going to take about half, and then I'm going to get the Burn Off, which is just fucking fantastic for me. Kind of hacksy, but you know what? It happens. And he's going to go ahead and set up the Stealth Rock. So I'm like, well, that kind of sucks just in terms of Entei. Nobody else really minds all that much, but Entei's not a fan of those rocks. So now I go for Roost because, you know, it's the smarter play. And he goes ahead and switches out into Blastoise, which is fine. And now I'm going to switch out here, going to my Gastrodon, expecting some kind of water move. But I'm stupid. And he goes for an Ice Beam, which sucks. So I'm like, alright, he's probably going to go for the Toxic. But on the off chance he predicts me, I'm going to stay in and go for the Earth Power. Recover. I go for the Recover. I'm sorry, this battle was a long time ago. I've been making this layout. I go for the Recover. Why? Because I can, mostly. I mean, the Toxic is not good. I kind of forgot that he was keeping that Toxic. But, you know... Whatever, it happens. So, yeah, basically, bitchin' has done her job, and I'm just like, alright, well, if you thought I was dual screens, you're wrong. Wrong, because I have Lunar Dance. And that sucks. That sucks for him, not so much for me, because Cloudtail is coming back, and that is awesome, because Cloudtail... I feel like Cloudtail takes out at least half his team. Actually, no, not half his team. Not half. I feel like he takes out... I don't know, I don't remember. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out later on in the battle. Because that's not right now. So I throw out Shades because I'm like, Poison is coming. And here, I'm like, alright. Well, there's not much you can do. I'm going to go for the Earth Power. See how specially defensive this thing really is. And it's not bad. You know, it takes about, I want to say a third. So I'm like, if I could stay in here for 3 turns, it would be alright. Unfortunately, I can't. So I'm going to come into bananas, take the Ice Beam, and proceed to U-turn out on the Dusknoir, in which case I will be able to switch in Entei and fuck up his day, honestly. That's what Entei, like, this is the master plan right here, is to have Entei come in and just kind of flare blitz for the win. So, pop in my Cloud Tail, because look at that little cloud on his back. You ever, I mean, obviously, I'm not even going to ask. You've seen Dragon Ball Z. I'm going to make the bold assumption that you've seen Dragon Ball Z. And, you know, the flying Nimbus, that's what his, like, little tail neck beard reminds me of. The flying Nimbus. I always wanted one of those. It looks so comfortable, and, like, you could eat it, because it was, like, yellow and shit. So, he's going to throw his Gallade. He's going to go for a Shadow Sneak. And I'm like, Shadow Sneak? Come on now. I'm assuming this is some kind of specially defensive Gallade. It's the bulk upset. I'm not even going to bother switching on the Shadow Sneak or anything. I'm going for the Flare Blades. So now I'm like, residual damage is always good, and I can't switch them back in because of Stealth Rocks anyway. So I'm going to sack Cloud Tail here, go for the Flare Blitz. I don't quite die, and I'm like, if I live this Ice Beam, I'm going to shit my pants. I don't, but if I did live it, it would be awesome. But Cloud Tail did more than enough. So it's 3-3. Things are getting pretty even, and this is where the battle definitely picks up. I throw out Shades, and he's going to go for the Ice Beam. And I'm dumb here, I think, and I just go for the Surf over predicting. I was going to go for the Recover, but then I was like, well, if he switches to Magneton, which I thought he was going to do, then he would have been kind of screwed. And why didn't I go for Earth Power? I don't know. I don't know. Don't ask me why. I made a dumb move because for some reason I thought Magneton maybe had Levitate or something. I don't know. Maybe I misclicked. It was a long time ago. I was being hasty. Don't judge me. So I go for an Earthquake to see how much that does to Dusknoir. And it's not a lot. So I'm like, alright, well my Glider's just going to have to deal with this. Switch him in. Dusknoir goes for the Shadow Punch. And I'm like, that's cool. Even with Eviolite, that's not going to do anything. And I'm going to go ahead and go for a Swords Dance. And I know he can Will-O-Wisp me, but at +6, Will-O-Wisp is only taking me down to +4. That's still a +4 Glider running around with a Stab Earthquake. With the dreaded Edgequake combo. So, basically, what it comes down to is him predicting when I'm going to Roost and when to Pain Split, when I should go for the Earthquake. Because I know if I just do this right, I will kill the Dusknoir, and I am faster than Blastoise and Magneton, so eventually I'll get him. Like, I'll get him eventually. Like, the chances of him outplaying me in this scenario are a lot lower just by the situation, not by skill or anything. I'm not bashing my opponent. I'm just saying, situationally, I have a better chance here. So, he's going for the Pain Splits. I'm going for the Roosts. He's kind of calling me here. But eventually I have it in my mind that I will get down to yellow, and I will go for that Earthquake, and he'll probably go for the Pain Split and just end up fucking himself. And I feel like that's not right now. I feel like I do actually just go for the Save Roost here. Yeah, I do, because I feel like the Earthquake's not going to kill, and if he does go for the Shadow Punch or whatever, my Glider will die, and then I'll lose. So here I go for the Roost. He does go for the Shadow Punch, which is like, alright, that's good, very good, because now I can go for 2 consecutive Earthquakes, and there's not a damn thing he can do about it, and then I win. But what do I do instead? I go for the Roost, because at this point, if he uses Pain Split, nothing's going to happen, so what do I have to fear the Roost for? So now here, I'm like, perfect, this is ideal right here. I can go for a Stone Edge here, hope for a crit. If it doesn't quite work out, I can proceed to do my Earthquakes. I can definitely survive a Shadow Punch and burn damage for 3 turns, and if he Pain Splits, he's just going to heal me. So I'm looking alright. I Roost here, I don't know why, because I forget how many turns this goes on for. But at this point, it's like not in his best interest to Pain Split, so I'm looking pretty alright. So, now here I start my little master plan. I go ahead and go for the Earthquake, and it's a crit! And I'm like, that's unnecessary. Helpful, absolutely. I mean, wanted, sure. I want that crit. But, I mean, I probably would have... I mean, by the way it was going, I was pretty much going to take that thing down eventually. He did resort to using Fire Punch. So that's kind of a clear indication that eventually that thing was going to die. So I switched to Blastoise, and I'm like, Gligar is faster, and this thing is a bulky set. And now I'm looking at this Magneton, and I'm like, if it's a bulky set, then I win. Which it is. Why? One reason alone, and that is sturdy. Because if he was faster than my Magneton, or my Gligar, he would have hidden powered it. I would have switched to my Primate, close combated, he would have had sturdy and Thunderbolted me, and I would have lost. However, that didn't happen, because it was a bulky Magneton, and I go for the close combat and win with 52 HP, which is swag. So, good game, liptonk, who is my opponent from the TPX chat, and thank you all for watching.